Welcome back to Crypto Meets AI. Jerry here with an update for you. Do me a favor, friends. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. Now let's get into this. Remember a while back when Ripple launched RLUSD? People were saying Ripple is abandoning XRP for RLUSD. XRP is no longer useful, which is why they created RLUSD. Where are all those people now who said that? XRP is more alive now than ever. It is the core of Ripple. Without XRP, Ripple makes no sense. Asheesh and team are building something special with Evernorth XRP. We are proud to partner with him. Proud to join an incredible set of investors, including SBI Holdings, Pantera Capital, Kraken, GSR, and RippleWorks to support Evernorth as it participates in its institutional lending, liquidity provisioning, and DeFi yield opportunities for XRP. Now let's take a deep dive into what this really means. Ripple's Ex-CTO joins 1 billion XRP firm going public on Nasdaq. Here's why it matters. Big news is shaking up the XRP world. David Schwartz, Ripple former CTO and current board member, you might know him as Joe Katz, just announced he's joining Evernorth XRP as a strategic advisor. Evernorth, led by ex-Ripple executive Asheesh Birla, isn't your usual buy and hold crypto fund. Instead of just stacking XRP and waiting for price moves, Evernorth plans to use XRP across institutional lending, DeFi yield strategies, and liquidity provisioning. In other words, actually putting XRP to work inside real financial systems. And here's the big part. The company is going public on Nasdaq under the ticker XRPN. Through a merger with Armada Acquisition Corp, the deal is expected to raise over $1 billion from heavyweights like SBI Holdings, Pantera Capital, Kraken, GSR, RippleWorks, and Ripple itself. Most of that money will go directly toward buying XRP on the open market, making Evernorth one of the biggest institutional holders out there. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse called it a major step in bringing more use cases, participation, and confidence to the XRP ecosystem. He and other Ripple leaders, including Schwartz and Stuart Alderati, will serve as advisors to help guide Evernorth's strategy and keep it aligned with Ripple's long-term vision for XRP as a global liquidity asset. So what does this really mean for XRP? It's not just a token being traded anymore. It's becoming part of institutional finance. Evernorth plans to build a massive XRP treasury that earns yield through lending. Use Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin to bridge XRP into DeFi and capital markets, and run validators to strengthen and decentralize the XRP ledger. This move could be one of the biggest signals yet that XRP is stepping fully into the institutional era, backed by regulation, real infrastructure, and now Wall Street exposure. And with David Schwartz, the very architect of XRP Ledger, advising Evernorth, this isn't just another partnership. It's a calculated push to make XRP a core asset in global finance. And if you found this information valuable, helpful, or hell, even entertaining, please like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. The groundwork for a significant XRP ETP across the UK and EU has been quietly taking shape. Regulatory frameworks, custody solutions, and institutional access are finally aligning. When this launches, it will unlock an entirely new wave of compliant liquidity. Watch London, watch Frankfurt. Now on to some XLM news. And you think XLM is just a coin? It's a cash flow engine for the global south. From Mexico to Nigeria, Stellar is building one of the only systems that can convert fiat to stablecoins in seconds, swap via smart contracts, send across borders with near zero fees, and cash out via WhatsApp integrated wallets. Best part, it doesn't require banks, it requires access, which Stellar gives to millions mobile first. If you're still measuring XLM's value by market cap, you're missing the real signal. Trillions in remittance flows are moving to decentralized rails. Utility always outpaces hype, and Stellar is quietly becoming the infrastructure no one can ignore. Don't look back in 3 years and say, I should have paid more attention. If this made you think deeper about XLM, please like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Governor Waller's open remarks at the Fed's Payment Innovation Conference happening now. This is an acknowledgement that DLT and crypto assets are no longer on the fringes, but are increasingly woven into the fabric of payment and the financial system.
Good morning. All right. Well, thank you, Susan, and good morning to everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the Federal Reserve Board for our first Payments Innovation Conference. My objective in creating this conference is twofold. First, I wanted to have a conference that focused on the new technologies that have come from the DeFi and crypto worlds and how they are entering into the mainstream payments ecosystem. My goal is to have a vibrant discussion about payments between traditional payment incumbents and the new entrants from the DeFi world. Second, I wanted to send a message that this is a new era for the Federal Reserve in payments. The DeFi industry is not viewed with suspicion or scorn. Rather, today, you are welcome to the conversation on the future of payments in the United States and on our home field, something that would have been unimaginable a few years ago. My view for the Fed from now on is embrace the disruption. Don't avoid it. As you know, we are well into a technology-driven revolution in payments, and I'm here to say that the Federal Reserve intends to be an active part of that revolution. A number of technological advances are transforming the payment system. Stablecoins and tokenized assets making use of distributed ledger technology, the rapid adoption of artificial intelligence AI, and increasingly the convergence between these innovations and the traditional financial ecosystem. This includes the institutions and infrastructure that our economy has long depended on to operate a safe and efficient payment system. And yes, this also includes the Federal Reserve. The revolution in transforming payments is demanding change everywhere. And I will say more in a moment about some new ideas that the Federal Reserve is studying to support those innovations. I have spoken before of what I see as the two broad models of payments innovation in our market economy. The first is private sector-driven innovation. Most innovation comes from the private sector, which is motivated and best positioned to allocate resources and take risk with new technologies. The second model is when public sector entities, such as the Fed, build platforms and provide services that enable the private sector to more readily and rapidly expand new services to its customers. This should be done rarely and in limited circumstances where it addresses a specific market need. The posture of public institutions, including the Federal Reserve, should be to acknowledge and embrace private sector innovation that can improve the payment system while preserving its safety and stability, which are as essential to the new generation of innovators as they are to legacy institutions. Now, let me pull back a moment and remind everyone how we got here. Since nearly its founding, the Federal Reserve System has worked to facilitate payment and settlement system efficiency alongside the private sector. From the beginning, the clearing services provided by the reserve banks obviated the need for daily movements of cash in armored cars with heavily armed guards. Long before we started speaking of the payment rails that are facilitating the kind of innovation we'll be discussing today, the Fed was running trains on steel rails to deliver and clear paper checks traveling across the country. FedWire began conducting interbank transfers through telegraph wires in the early 20th century. Fast forward today, where we have multiple infrastructures that settle interbank transfers in real time. Today's conference will focus on private sector-driven innovation. We have assembled 100 private sector innovators who are leveraging cutting-edge technology to create new possibilities in the payments landscape. Our panelists are engaging in integrating traditional financial payment rails with distributed ledgers, developing new products and services in the digital asset ecosystem, and leveraging AI in the payment system. It's worth noting that the firms engaged in these activities include banks, asset managers, retail payment firms, technology companies, as well as crypto-native fintechs. This is an acknowledgement that distributed ledgers and crypto assets are no longer on the fringes, but are increasingly woven into the fabric of the payment and financial system.
Telling you pretty much guarantee they're going to put the U.S. Treasury on blockchain. Once you do that, you're no longer able to rob, steal, and cheat from the American taxpayer. Everything will be transparent, easily auditable, irrefutable. You'll not be able to get rid of it. It's always going to be there. That's one of the big things about blockchain technology. It makes everything transparent, upfront, and honest. Well, that's what I have for you folks. Until next time, stay savvy, stay stacking, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. And if you want more crypto deep dives, check out our videos right here on Crypto Meets AI. Thank you for watching. Remember to always do your own research. This is not financial advice.